It's diet or die, but Raza will fly. It's diet or die, but Raza streaks by.
We are geared to store energy. Survival of the fittest.
Are you reading those dieting books again?
This is about evolution. We evolved to store energy as fat in case we run out of food.
Shall I pop over to the supermarket?
No need. I have plenty of stored energy. I'm an efficient energy storing machine.
At Dr. Appel's clinic. As you see, there's Freud on the wall, and this is the famous Freudian sofa. The same
Okay.
color.
I am an efficient machine.
You're a human being, you are not a machine.
I am an efficient energy storing machine.
You are you.
What am I storing that energy for?
Eh?
For that rainy day where the food is gone. But the rainy day never comes.
Okay, so that was the comic, and it's just the beginning. Afterward, there's a big issue with an umbrella. She's going around with an umbrella and waiting for the rainy day that never comes, because that's why we store the fat for an emergency, and there's no emergencies in the Western civilization. So you just get fatter and fatter because there's so much energy. So that was the idea behind it, and she's slowly realizing things. That's the main thing about Raza, I think, throughout the character, if you want to talk about the character.
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Always reading up on stuff and always realizing things and testing about it in her own life. She just read a book about evolution, but she immediately thinks about herself. She is a machine. I am storing the energy. It is me. It's not something else. She always takes it to heart and sees how it works in her own life, and it gets all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Yeah.
And so she reads health or help books. And this one is about evolution, and so she sees herself as a part of evolution, but also I think she looks at her own evolution.
Most of my strips are interconnected in some way, and you have to read like 5 strips before you really get at Dr. Appel's clinic.
I just can't get a grip on myself. I can't stop eating.
Perhaps if you define yourself with a metonym,
What's that?
a single attribute that reflects your being.
I don't understand.
Like someone who gossips a lot is called the mouth, or an eavesdropper is called the ear.
Oh, the Hoover? Oh, I love this strip. This is a really good strip.
Okay,
That's great.
okay. So let's talk about this strip a bit, Michal.
I mean, I love this strip because it's like, she talks to him. She talks about her problem, which is basic. Can't stop eating. Yeah, basic. And then he comes out with rephrasing her situation. Try and rephrase your situation. And, I think he was maybe aiming for something a little bit more positive. But the only thing that she came up with was the Hoover.
It's undifferentiated. It sucks up everything. I think part of it is the pleasure. There's a lot of, because eating lights up our brain with all kinds of good stuff. It's addictive in the greatest sense because it's the most important for life. And everything.
It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah, and everything that's necessary for life is strongly wired for pleasure. So it's like, it's a bit going against the grain. But look, he's trying. I think I like the image of Dr. Appel. Whoever heard of a metonym? Metonym is such a an abstruse way of looking at things. It's so hyper intellectual and hyper, but so he's trying to apply all kinds of stuff to her, which is not really relevant to. It is relevant in a way, and she's very frank with him. She doesn't know what he's talking. What was this metonym stuff? So he is obliged to meet her, not please say a metonym. What's that? So he has to explain to her, and then and also the reader, who probably doesn't know what a metonym is. I didn't know what a metonym was, and then oh wow, so that's a metonym. Let's use that. Ooh, that's a great way to. Let's make a comic from that. So, but it's sort of he makes it more human, and then she tries to sum herself up in one word. And it's like this despair of not being in control.
And the fact that she says, I'm a Hoover, is like opening a whole world of looking at yourself.
Yeah.
How do I eat? What do I eat? Over the years, there were phases. There was one phase where I said, okay, I can eat whatever I want. I just need to see how I eat. So there was a whole process of sitting quietly in a corner, not busy, not looking at my phone, and taking bites and chewing till the end and then only swallowing. I was sure this is gonna be what will save my eating habits. And,
Michal, I'd love to hear more about your experience with sitting quietly. Like, weren't you bored?
it didn't last long. It was a phase, one of my phases.
I'd love to have Raza try to do that, sit very quietly, and Ziggy would come, what's happening? What's going on? She doesn't respond. Hello, is everything fine? Are you okay? So he's looking.
And she goes on chewing.
And she's, okay, she's chewing. And then she swallows finally, and then she says, what would she say? What would you say about this activity?
I'm eating consciously.
I was practicing my consumptive awareness or something. and he was, oh God. Well, maybe next time you can put up a sign so I know when I approach or something. The most crucial thing about food, you can't go cold turkey. It's an addiction that you can never kick because you need to eat to live. So you can't say, I'm not eating anymore. It doesn't work. It has to go through your mind. There has to be a plan. It's not like alcohol that you can quit or smoking or drugs. Quit cold turkey. I'm sober for 49 years and 99 days. No. You're never sober. It's all connected with the pleasure. So it's like living life and enjoying life and being happy without the light up, without the high.